Hey there, you're watching the Jessa Channel on YouTube. I'm Jessa, and today I am here with, well, what are we looking at? This is a matter of murder. It's a murder mystery game. I knew that so many of you were going to enjoy it along with me because we do love our murder mysteries here on the Jessa Channel. And this is another one. This is a really cute game. You can see already by the writing on the screen here and the art style, you're in for a world of cute here. But it's also an interesting game in that it is procedural. In other words, the cases are infinite. You can replay it over and over again, and the cases will always be different. So we're going to dive into this game, which was given to me by its developers, Worthing and Moncrief. And one last thing before we dive into the game. You might be thinking, well, Jessa, you know, I can't be shelling out all of these coins for all these games. Oh, I hear you. I hear you. I'm picking up what you're putting down. This game, which comes out on April 18th, $3. Yep, it's $3. I think you can find $3. Heck, I might even be able to find $3. I might have to root around in my stocking drawer, but I might be able to. I'm pretty sure I can come up with that. So, and in fact, I did not request a key for the game from the developers because for that very reason, it was $3. And I thought, well, of course, I can come up with $3 and get this game and bring it to you on the 18th or as soon as I can get it up afterwards. But the developers saw me on Twitter and said, hey, no worries, we have a key for you. So thank you so much to Worthing and Moncrief, because that allows me to take my time and get this content up for you so that on the 18th, you're all excited to go out and get a copy for yourself. Also, this game is available on Steam Greenlight. If you head on over to Greenlight and give your thumbs up for it, it will really help. This game is having a hard time getting a little traction because it's unique. Very unique. You want to see? I'll show you. So when you first start up the game, I've already played through, of course, as I do with everything I bring to the channel. I played through a little bit of it to make sure it's going to work for you and for me. And over here in the settings, when you first start up, you're going to get this. This arrived for you in the Morning Post. And here it says, Dear, your title, your surname. So this is fun because you can click here and there's a bunch of titles here. The Countess, Barrister, Dame, Detective, Governess, Inspector, Maestro, Senorita, or other. Well, I was like, you know what? I kind of want a different title. All my titles start with the. I feel like being a duchess, a Duchess detective. There's a series. Somebody go write that. And so what should we be? Well, you know what? Let's give a little shout out to The Sims 2. I have a village in The Sims 2 that I've produced a lot of videos about. It's called Acanthop. So I could be the Duchess of Acanthop, but I'd like to give that a little bit of a ring to it. The Duchess of Acanthopia. I don't know. I like it. It trips upon the tongue. Kind of not really. Anyway, so your presence is requested at an English country house party. Yay! Come prepared for elegant dinners, light-hearted badminton rivalries. Is that my badminton? Give it back. And possible murderous mayhem. I love that. They just put that on the invitation. Yeah, hey, come over and you might get murdered. So just come and join us. It's going to be fun. Weather permitting. Possible murderous mayhem. If the weather is bad, you know, we can't really say. Maybe we won't be able to do it. So, we're going to, of course, RSVP, give this to our butler, George. Actually, you know what? I'll change my butler's name to give a shout out to the developers. So it's, I think it was Worthington and Moncrief. Let's look it up here again. Worthing and Moncrief. Okay, so my butler will be called Worthing. We'll call him Worthington. Worthington. Dear, take this out and give it to the postman. We're going to the country this weekend. Yes, madam. All right, so that will come up, and then you'll get back to this menu, and you'll be taken to the introductory case. So let's see how this game works. I love it. Some naked person on the floor. And this is different. I think this body was different the last time I played through it. But that's how every case starts out, with a scream of terror. Just like I like all of my games to start out with a scream of terror, really. Sounds the best games. Good evening, the Duchess of Acanthopia. You are a new guest at the manor, aren't you? Don't be alarmed, it's just a body. This thing sort of happens here. This sort of thing happens here all the time. So the only thing, I love the art style. It's like Shel Silverstein meets Edward Gorey meets Agatha Christie meets, oh my gosh, what's going on here? And the only thing I don't like are the eyes. They're creepy. Hey, Worthing and Moncrief, if you're watching this, those eyes are creepy. So we're getting a little tutorial here. You just press the mouse button. Welcome. I am the maid at the estate. My name is Frau Spils. But you can call me whatever you like. The other guests certainly do. Like you want and hussy and hey, get over here, sweetness, and other things like that. It's too bad about Major Thomas being murdered. Aww. But who doesn't love a good mystery? So even this introductory is randomized, procedural, I guess they call it in gaming. It's because it wasn't Major Thomas last time. But who doesn't love a good mystery? It will certainly pass the time. This is a great game to play. It's available on tablets as well too. And let me see actually if I can quickly pull it up here and see if it's available on Android. Yeah, let's see here. It doesn't say, it just says Windows PC, Mac, which is great, and mobile. And I accidentally clicked and lost this thing here. But anyway, they're telling us about the map here. And shoot, what did she say? I have no idea. So I think we clicked somewhere on the map. Dr. Wiener. He sounds good. So we're gonna, yeah, okay, so we're gonna go to the front hall. Why, look, Dr. Wiener is here. Quite a suspicious looking character, don't you think? He so did it. You will want to interrogate all the suspects in the house. Their testimony will help you assemble the events of the evening. If you click on a suspect, you can ask for an alibi, information on a weapon, or a motive. Let's ask Dr. Wiener for an alibi. Dr. Wiener, where were you on the night of, whatever night it was? Whatever today is. Like, yeah, this, like a couple of hours ago. He's gonna look very nervous. Well, and you can hear when you click on him, he'll make a little, I'll be quiet next time so you can hear. Alibi, the good doctor pales visibly. Yes, of course. You, everyone, surely. I was with Lord Pladdington in the billiard room. Yes, right. I don't believe a word he's saying. Excellent. Now let's see if they know anything about how it was done. Click the doctor again to continue the conversation, and let's ask about the weapon. Well, no. You see, I'm not that kind of doctor, really. He fidgets awkwardly. Not the kind of man who can give answers when you need them. Yeah, what use are you? Like, that's where you go to a doctor for to get answers. Anyway, that wasn't as informative. Frau Spiltz and lets us know. Not all suspects will have information on every topic. Let's ask for a motive this time. The doctor seems puzzled. Right after the body was discovered, I overheard Eris von Pinch on the phone with the solicitor, asking after Major Thomas's will. Major Thomas, who was killed. She wanted to know his will, but she's an heiress. She doesn't need any more money. She's heiressed. Do you suppose there's a connection? Well done. You have fully interrogated your first suspect. So you think, yeah, this is really easy, Jessa. But do not get so sure. That's my terrible Poirot, Hercule Poirot impersonation. Do not be surprised if they occasionally get huffy and leave abruptly. Some suspects are quite sensitive. So yeah, they'll just like leave the room, and you'll see that happen. In addition to interrogating the subjects, you'll find lots of clues strewn about. Oops, clicked. To examine or search something, click on the object you want to inspect. Let's look at the cricket bat. After scrutinizing the cricket bat very carefully, you are satisfied that it was not used to commit the murder because it hasn't got a lick of blood on it. That sounded terrible. Not lick. So here are our suspects, our available weapons, and our motives. It's kind of like Clue, you know? I mean, well, it's a lot like Clue, actually. Let's open up our notebook, though, so I want to show you how it looks here. When you've thoroughly searched a room, you can return to the map and explore another part of this estate by pressing the estate map. You'll find it at the top of the panel on the right. I'm afraid I have to go finish some dusting. I'll check in on you later to see how you're doing. In the meantime, good luck with the investigation. Thank you, Frost Spilts. I appreciate that. All right, so you think that's not too bad. That's easy. We're just going to ask these guys some questions. Well, I think it's going to get a little bit harder. First of all, he said he was in the billiard room with Lord Pladdington, so let's see if that's true. Who is this? You can click right on them to see on their token. So let's go to the billiard room. Let's see where Lord Pladdington is. When you're in the different rooms, you'll get background effects. You can hear the pool balls. Whatever they're called, pool balls. Anyway, so Lord Pladdington leans up from his enticing game and gives us a beady eye. Because look at that. Those are some beady eyes. I mean, just click on them. And here's a rope, so we can also examine it if we'd like. We happen to know that the cricket bat is not the murder weapon. And as you do things, it will show up here in the notes, and you can just scroll down just like this and read everything before you decide to accuse the killer. Let's see if he agrees with the alibi of Dr. Wiener. Ask for alibi. What? An alibi? Oh, shoot. I did it again. Doggone it. I have to stop clicking before I'm done reading. But anyway, Lord Pladdington was in the billiard room with Dr. Wiener, so they back each other up. So we're not going to ask him any other questions right now, because pretty soon you'll find out why we need to kind of hurry it along. Despite the fact that it was recoiled, you are able to deduce that the rope was used recently. It must have been used to commit the murder. Here we go. And here's where the factor comes in that makes things a little bit more dicey. Did you notice the clock at the top of the panel on to the right? Every time you take an action, the clock will advance. Moving about the house will not advance time. However, interrogating suspects and examining objects will. So you will need to carefully consider what you investigate as the puzzles get more challenging. So as the game moves along, you know, it gets to be pretty difficult. If an hour passes and the clock runs out, it will turn red, and the police could arrive at any moment. Best not to let that much time pass. Dangerous things could happen. Good luck, the Duchess of Acanthopia. The Duchess of Acanthopia. Oh, fine. Maybe I should have, you know, and we can change that, I think. So maybe I should put the Duchess. Let's go over here to options. Go to the main menu. I hope this won't reset the case, but if it does, that's all right. So let's reset the player name. And make this the Duchess of Acanthopia. There we go. That's more like it. Now, Worthington, take this out. Yes, you've told me before, madam. And then come back here and rub my feet. I'm feeling rather peaky. Okay, so yeah, I guess we have to do the case over again, but that's all right. Because now you can see why I was so surprised. You see, the tutorial itself is different every time, randomized. So we'll just skip through this. We've seen it. Frost Spilts. Madame Dreary being murdered. That's who was murdered the first time I did it. Show you around the estate. Also, another thing that's randomized, the maps are randomized too, which is really cool. And the suspects. Sometimes, you know, this person won't be in it. Everything's randomized, which is really cool. Click on the hall and we'll go there together. Let's go to the front hall. Master Percy. He's quite suspicious. Yes. Pip Pip Cheerio and all that. Cheerio, I mean. You click on a suspect, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so let's ask for an alibi. Does perishing of NUI count as alibi? I don't even know what that means. To the developers, if you're watching this, what does that mean? He considers, yes, let's go with that. I was absolutely perishing of NUI in the billiard room under the adoring gaze of Major Thomas. Yeah, right. Now let's see if they know anything about how it was done. Click Master Percy again to continue the conversation and ask about the weapon. What do you know? A sharp jibe or cutting remark is about where my knowledge of weaponry ends, the Duchess. I wish I could help. I'm glad I changed the name, otherwise it would have been silly the whole way through. Well, that wasn't quite as informative. Let's ask about the motive. There was the year Ward Constance wasn't seen for the entire social season. Claimed to be at a spa, which later turned out to be a lunatic asylum. Typical. So Ward Constance is crazy, which will be amusing when you see who Ward Constance is. Don't be surprised if they occasionally get huffy and leave abruptly. Clues strewn about the estate. Let's look at the cricket bat, and we will see once again that there's nothing particularly noteworthy. Don't get discouraged. You just have to hunt a bit more. You'll find out which weapon the killer used. Thoroughly search the room and explore another part of the estate by the estate map button. And Frau leaves us, and we're going to go back out to the estate map. So, like I said, we're going to do the same thing as before. Master Percy was in the billiard room with Major Thomas. Let's head to the billiard room. Oh, I bet these two are lovers. And they did it together. And they're backing each other up. God's teeth, I was in the billiards room. With Master Percy, you simpleton! You know what? That's just going to get you arrested. I'm just going to arrest you for impeding justice. And the Duchess. The Duchess of Justice. Let's see if I can say that without spraying all over the mic. The Duchess of Justice. Yeah. You noticed the rope's fibers bear significant tears and it was hastily recoiled. Could it have been used to commit the murder? You've discovered the murder weapon, yay! A word of advice, in future cases, careful examination may not be enough to determine the murder weapon. Additional sleuthing, so we may have to ask more questions as it goes on. All right, Major Thomas, put some clothes on and, get to it. Whatever you're doing. Did you notice the clock? So once again, we have the clock. It's advanced to here. Here is the warning time. You only have a little bit more time to go. The puzzles get more challenging. Good luck, the Duchess. So this is where we were before. So let's find out about Ward. This is we can click, as I told you. We can see that this is Ward Constance. So we'll click on the study. Oh, these two look guilty as sin. Look at that. She did it. She beat the guy with it. She beat the murder victim with her doll. So we don't need to click on this because we already know what the murder weapon is. So the sound effect in here, if you can just hear it, is fire, the fireplace, and the sound of somebody turning a book page, which is great. Okay, Ward Constance, you're guilty. Ask for alibi. I had ever so much fun prepping my doll, Mrs. Pickles, for surgery in the dining room. Master Percy was there. She says Master Percy was there. Well, did you notice that? You may have just caught someone providing false testimony. Did you recall what Master Percy told you earlier this evening? If at any time you need to review your notes, click the notebook button, which we had already done. Interesting. According to your notes, Master Percy claimed to have been with Major Thomas tonight. Ward Constance, that evil little urchin, is lying. Why lie? Unless they are the murderer. I knew it. Now we also know the murderer. I'm so sorry. We also know the motive for the crime. Master Percy also revealed it to us earlier this evening. So we will find it to our clues. We need to scroll through the notebook, and down here, Master Percy implied that Ward Constance, being quite bad, might be capable of murder. I love the writing in this game. They did a great job with that. Excellent detective work. You have deduced the murderer and the motive for the crime. Well done. You now have enough information to make an accusation. In accusing, you gather all the suspects together, outline your interpretation of the evening's events, and reveal the identity of the killer. You can make an accusation in any room of the mansion. You cannot accuse while referencing this estate floor plan. So you can choose to like gather everybody in a certain room. To make an accusation, press the accuse button on the menu at the top panel at the right. Okay, so accuse. But first, before we do that, we could just set everybody up here in the study. But just for fun, let's go to the parlor. There's nobody in the parlor, so we stand here. We could click on this poker, but we know that is not the murder weapon. And then let's accuse everybody. If you believe you have solved the crime, you may gather suspects and point out the murderer. Let's accuse. You did it, you did it, you did it, and you did it. The police arrive just in time, and this is Constable Bobby. That's awesome. The assembled guests and authorities wait in anticipation for your explanation of what you believed happened this evening. And then we get an overview of the story thus far. Earlier this evening, Madame Dreary had adjourned to the trophy room for a post-prandial drink. Post-prandial. I don't know what prandial means, but I'll look it up later. Look at her. She has no idea that her relaxed and wonderful life is about to end horribly. With a, what did we kill her? With a rope. Select the weapon. So at this point, when you're playing through this, you may, have to either guess, or you have to go through every room and click every weapon, but you don't often have time for that. So that's where the kind of gameplay comes in. What do you choose to do before you run out of time? We happen to know it's the rope. Look at it. Look how evil it looks. As the murderer neared the doorway of the trophy room, they observed the rope nearby. Select a motive. Revenge, hatred, jealousy, money, blackmail. So, being quite mad, insanity. So we are going to choose insanity for our motive notes. Because that kid definitely 2 marbles short of a full bag. The killer was overwhelmed with insanity. In a flash, the murderer... I love how they never show the whole body, just the feet in various stages of... Oh, and do you notice how the feet were naked last time, or unclothed, I should say? Because Major Thomas was the victim. So the people can be either suspects or victims, although Worthing and Moncrief are few have... I highly doubt that Constance... Do you kill Constance? I bet she's probably on the do not kill list. But who committed the dastardly deed? Why, none other than... And at this point, we point to the miscreant. Constance, you're going up the river. Is this some sort of game? The ward inquires plaintively. If it is, I don't like it. Not one bit. And I'm not the murderer. I promise I'm not. You're lying, kid. You explain how Ward Constance lied about an alibi at the time of the murder. There's a typo here to the developers if you're watching. By claiming to have spent the evening with Master Percy. You, Constance, you lied. You fibbed a big one when you mentioned that you were in with Master Percy. And you know how I know? Because Major Thomas and Master Percy are lovers. And they were canoodling. And you possibly couldn't have walked in on that. Let's see what she says. See? It's shocking. So no one's buying my innocent story? Well, that's a relief. She rolls her eyes. It's exhausting. Pretending to be all sweetness and light when you're really a pitiless, unrepentant killer. See? She did it. Great job. You've got a knack for solving mysteries, haven't you? Let's see how you fare with something more challenging. And each case file, the nature of the mystery puzzle changes slightly and increases in difficulty. And one of the ways that it increases, well, I'll let you we'll discover it together. I won't reveal it. For a real challenge, we can play a randomly assembled case you can play that combines puzzles together to generate new mysteries. So that's really neat. You can actually just play infinitely with new mysteries. It's really cool. So we have an achievement unlocked, tutorial completed, yay! As you progress, remember the words of Dame Agatha Christie, and they do a lot of quoting of people in the game. Another thing I liked about this game is wonderful. To every problem, there is a most simple solution. And also, many of you know this, who have been with me here at the channel for a long time. Dame Agatha Christie is my favorite author, only seconded by Miss Reed, a little-known English author who did books about English village life. And her books are now becoming quite the rarity and hard to find because she passed away a few years ago, and they're now starting to get pretty expensive. But I have some of them, and if a fire ever happens, I'm grabbing the cats, the husband by the hair, my Miss Reed books, as much of the computer as I can throw out the window and jumping, basically. So, most simple solution. Best of luck. So that's it. I love it. Bully for you, the Duchess. They're so English. Your investigative skills are top drawer. The killer has been brought to justice, and all's well that ends well. An astounding performance. Thanks. Appreciate it. That's really nice of ya. See? So it says something different, dastardly diversion, and it says something, like I said, every time you load it up. So that is A Matter of Murder. We're going to do one more episode of this where we play through a couple more case files. But over here, I wanted to show you, you can customize. This is really funny. So you can actually change these suspects, frost builts. That could be a lot of fun. If you play this, for example, with your kids, and your kids got to name all the suspects really funny names. And so these are all the different suspects you'll see in the game. So once again, this game is on Steam Greenlight. It's been there sort of languishing since the end of last year, and it could use a boost. Even if you don't want to buy the game, just head on over and give it a thumbs up, give it a vote up on Steam, and help it get some traction over there. Because look at this game, it's awesome, it's so much fun. Done by two gentlemen, Worthing and Moncrief, also known as Eric Hamill and Mark Harpin. Thank you for the game and for the opportunity to bring this to the channel. I'll see you back here for episode 2, the last episode of A Matter of Murder. But if you enjoyed this episode, please hit the thumbs up button below. And if you loved it, join the party and subscribe. Tell me what you think about this. This game, I can't wait to see the comments on this. And this is one of those games that would be a lot of fun if I ever do a stream again, a live stream, that we would play a game like this so we could all vote on who was the murderer and all that kind of stuff. Question this person, ask him about his alibi, click on that rope, see what happens. You know, it's a perfect game for that. Anyway, I'll see you back here for more A Matter of Murder. And as always, thank you so much for watching.